All right, welcome everyone. Just give me a moment as I let everybody in. All right, so welcome to everyone. My name is Amir Khan. If you're joining us for the first time, I host these newbie coaching calls every Thursdays. And every Thursday there is a different topic, something that is quite fundamental, and I feel it will help somebody who's just starting out. We do have many members who are on these calls who actually have their first slow flips. So it doesn't matter if you want to join, you're welcome to join. But primarily, the goal of these meetings and presentations are focused towards very fundamental stuff. And today I'm going to share with you my very first slow flip. So I'm excited about that. It's an interesting deal. Um, it's not a typical deal, and so that's all I'll say right now. And I also have the actual walkthrough video that I used, based on which I made the decision to buy this property. So everything that goes into making a decision is in here. So hopefully that would be helpful. All right. So just a reminder, we only have 40 minutes on these calls, and that's a hard stop. And so we will have questions towards the end. Just be aware, I don't like interrupting people. I know I watch my videos and I hate it when I'm interrupting people. I don't like that. But unfortunately, the last thing I want to do is the call just ends abruptly. So that's why towards the end, if your question is too long, I would ask you. You can always DM me. I usually do answer people's question if they DM me. So you can DM me later, but just know that 40 minutes is the hard stop there. All right. So having said that, let me start. So I have a little presentation that I'm going to share with you. So let me start with that. And can everybody see my screen? Okay, perfect. All right, so let's see, present, and here we go. All right, so this is my first slow flip. I think I joined in August last year. Yes, August last year, 2023. After going through the course in about a month, I was ready for my first slow flip. And I didn't have any private lender at that time, and I had made a decision that I'm going to buy with my own cash so that I have proof of concept, and I've done it myself. I would understand the process, and I'll just go from there. So I didn't really know all the answers, but I had made a decision that I was going to buy on cash. Now, so this, let me just tell you ahead of time, this is not a typical property. Number one, uh, it's very, very large. Number two, it's it's in a relatively good condition. So I maybe just got lucky. I don't know, but it was a combination of things. I was searching every day. So that's the address. If you like, you can actually Google it right now or look it up in Zillow. And it's in East St. Louis. So it's on the other side of St. Louis, Missouri, across the river. And this is, so here are the facts and specs. 5 bedroom, 3 bath. It's over 3,000 square feet. So the funny thing is, it was listed as a 1,500 square feet home, but when my boots on the ground actually went there, they found that people waiting in the waiting room. Sorry, I don't know how to do that. Waiting room, waiting room. Well, it's just showing me a message that there are people waiting in the waiting room, but I don't know how to get there. Does anybody know?
There, you don't have at the top of the screen where you can admit. Do you see a little thing there?
No. Yeah, usually it is, and it's not showing me. And I hate for people to just okay. Participant,
Change your view for a minute to have it pop up.
waiting room. Okay. Here. Yeah, I just admitted all of them. Okay. All right. Sorry. As you can see, when I do upload these videos, they're edited, so I'll edit this part out. All right. So as I was saying, that this house was actually listed on the MLS, and it was listed as a 1,500 square feet home, but it was actually over 3,000 square feet. It was on a reasonably large lot size, and it was built in 1954. These are some of the pictures, but if you actually go on Zillow right now with this address, you can see some of the other pictures. It was just filled with a lot of stuff. So it was as if somebody had just left. So all the furniture was there. Um, they just left it there as is. And the story is that there was an older gentleman who was living there. He passed away. All his kids were out of town. They didn't want to do anything with the property. There was a little small mortgage on it, so they knew they couldn't get anything out of it. There was some issue in the house, and that's the reason why they just wanted to sell it on cash as soon as possible. So that was the challenge. But let me show you the next slide, which is, like I said, how did I find it? I found it on the MLS. It was actually listed for $35,000. And this is my actual offer to the agent. Was it today somebody was asking me, they wanted to see my template, so I hope they're on the call. So that's the template that I use. I still use the same template. And so here are the key things that should be in your offer so that it's taken seriously. Number one, you do need to mention, sometimes just people just say cash, and cash is just a little vague now since everybody uses that term. So I always say this is an all cash offer with no contingencies. But then I always say I would like to do a remote walkthrough if we can arrange it. You can change that part, but you do need to say about no contingency, because um, even if you say cash, a lot of people like to say, but if this happened, we may. The reason why they're selling at this price point is they want no contingency. So if you don't say it in your offer, they're assuming that you're not that kind of a person who is willing to pay all cash and have no contingencies. If you say it right up front in your offer, that'll just take care of that. All right. Number two, you need to attach your proof of fund. If you don't attach the proof of fund, again, you're putting yourself in they're getting a whole bunch of offers, right? You want your offer to be right on top. So you want to hit everything. You want to make sure you talk about cash. You want to say that there are no contingency. You want to also mention that you can close quickly. So in my case, I always say I can close between 10 to 15 days, which I can if I have private lenders or if I have cash. Either way, I can do that, right? And proof of funds, it's very easy to do. You can search on the forum as well. There are many different ways to do it. And I can share with you what I use, and I use the same source and it works. There's not really a problem with that. Now, as you can see, there was a counter offer from the agent for 32. But that's another way to figure this out is it doesn't matter what the property is listed at. I'm going to go over the money math that I use to come up with my offers, but it didn't matter what the listing price is, right? So you offer something obviously below that with an idea of where you feel comfortable you should be offering for that specific property. All right. So that was that. So the inspection. Now, Joey doesn't live in East St. Louis, but he was visiting East St. Louis that weekend. So it just happened that when I texted him, he said, "Hey, I'm actually here in town." So I said, "Oh, great. Can you actually do a walkthrough for me?" And so he did. And so this walkthrough video is by him now. I think he still does it, but in past, at least what he used to do, even if he's going to fill for you, he actually took this entire video and it goes on his channel, and then he's actively marketing it. So what I like about the way he does the filling and the video is that as he's walking, he's just making a commentary, and then that commentary is just coming up with, he's just ad-libbing it. So it's very natural and it comes across really, really good. So I'm going to play that. Hopefully it'll work. So where it is? There it is. All right, can you see the video? It should be just a still screen. It will be a little bit lagging, and if it's too lagging, then I'll reduce the size, but I know it was working. I did test it, all right? And the sound is not going to be that good, so I'm just gonna put it up as much as I can.
All right, this is 1005 North 86th Street, East St. Louis. I believe this is a 6-bed, 3-bath, large home. We're gonna walk you through this entire home, very detailed. It's in great overall shape. It does need a major clean out. However, a few dumpsters, a few guys, we'll get this taken care of. So we are on North 86th Street. You have driveway right here. I'm standing inside it right now. I'm gonna walk around the exterior first, and then I'm gonna take you inside the front door. This house just keeps going and going and going. It is a large house, but with a large house, that means a lot of repairs, a lot of cleaning, a lot that needs to be done. Public record shows us as 1,500 square feet. If I had to guess, in the past, they popped the top and added the whole entire upstairs unit. This is bigger than 1,500 square feet. This place is massive, 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 massive. Right. That is the whole exterior of the house, and I'll take you inside. Once again, this is North 86th Street. All right, so a little bit about this house. I think it's 6 or 7 bedrooms, 3 full baths, 2 living areas, and like I said, it's about 3,000 square feet. This is bigger than the house I live in. So this is the living room right now. The thing is, there's not major damage as well. There's no major damage to the house. Everything inside the house is in good shape. The main thing this needs is a cleanup. You're gonna need 5, 6, 7 dumpsters to clean this place out. This is the first bedroom right here. This is a bedroom. You have luscious carpet. Nice blue carpet. Looks like it's in good shape. These closets connect. Let me go to the other bedroom. Right across the hall, this is their second bedroom right here. Another bedroom. See some water stains on the ceiling right there. And so the same carpet. The carpet's in really good shape. All right, and right here is your bathroom now. This is your downstairs full bathroom. I believe there's 4. Is there 3 or 4? I'm not sure. There's a lot of bathrooms in this place. This is your bathroom. Got a shower stall and your toilet. All right, now coming through here leads us to our kitchen. Like I said, this place huge, huge, huge. This place is just massive, just straight massive. Your kitchen is huge. It's open. Try to see through all this clutter. There's a lot of stuff inside here, but this place is in great shape. Just need to clean it up. And I think I just said it on a video yesterday. So, oh, front, there's a garage here too. So, and you have a garage. You have a new garage door, it looks like, and so much space here in this garage. It's a 2-car garage, massive garage. Massive garage. All right, so I think that's everything downstairs. Well, remember, the kitchen's, like I said, this is all the kitchen. You won't need appliances. There's no appliance. Well, there's a dishwasher. There's a stove. Where's the fridge? There's no fridge, so you would need a fridge. Right here, this is a little junk room. I guess, let's go somewhere. No, it's just a little tiny closet here. But your kitchen is huge. This is your back room. Utility closet. You have your breaker box. You have an HVAC unit, which actually looks updated. Washer and dryers. All right, now just wait till you see the upstairs. Upstairs, I think it was an addition. It looks really good. So this is real work. This is not hollow. Let me check. No, this is real rock right here. Nice wood finish all around. Order carpet. Check out how deep this hallway is. I'm gonna show you everything, guys. Be patient. So this is another bedroom, right? This is the master bedroom. Master bedroom. So you have a balcony right here. This isn't the most secure, but master bedroom, massive. Massive, massive, massive. You see there's some leaking right here. Some drywall fell down. 2 closets, 1 closet, 2 closets, huge master bedroom. This bedroom's bigger than mine. Now this is your master bath. Like your bathroom. Very nice, very solid. Everything here looks great. Some peel and paint, but here's a lot of fixing up. A lot of fixing up, a lot of cleaning up. But keep in mind, it's all going to be factored into the price. All right, so this is the third. I lost track of the bedroom. This place is so big. Right here, you have another bedroom. Continuing through right here, this is another bedroom. A lot of clutter in this one. There's a lot of stuff left behind. That's your biggest repair. You're probably going to spend about $10,000, maybe even more to get this place cleaned up. Or, like I said, if you do it yourself, it's free. Do the work yourself, save yourself some money. This is bathroom. Very nice bathroom. That's scared. There's just a smoke detector, and see there's some drywall cracking right here. Now this is your living area. Remember, you have 2 living areas. This is your second living area. There's a living area downstairs. But right here, you got another HVAC unit. You have dual HVAC, another hot water heater. And just take a look at this. So I'm gonna show you this in a second. Some more drywall coming down up there. But this place, massive. Massive, massive. You got a wood burning fireplace, ugly carpet, and let me show you this bar area. So you have a bar area up here. However, the ceiling looks like it's collapsed down. So there is some work that needs to be done up here. Some drywall repair. But this place, the size will do it. I don't know if I've had a house this big before in St. Louis. All right, guys, that is everything. This is, I already forgot the address. East 86th Street or something. There's a massive house, 6 bedrooms, 3 full baths.
Okay, so I showed this to you for several reasons, and I will discuss those as I go along. But did you see how cool? I don't know if you've seen Joey's videos before, but I like it because think about it. His market, he has, I don't know, a couple hundred people that are on his subscriber list, and they love going through the homes, and there are people, who actually have bought from him, and they have relatives who ask him. So when they go to their channel, that's what he uses, and so I just like it. It's non-scripted, as you saw as he entered. He said, "Oh, there's no repairs at all," and as he goes up, he figures out, "Oh, there is issues." So he just ad-libs them, but that's what makes it so real. Okay, but I'll tell you why I showed you that, because there are obviously issues, right? So in the inspection, well, okay, let me just talk about this, then I'll just put everything together. So my underwriting and my funding. This is how I did my underwriting. Now, this screenshot is just for reference. This is not the actual screenshot of the comps that I pulled, because obviously I bought this last year. So I did my analysis, but I couldn't find the actual comps that I pulled at that time. So I just pulled them again, and so they're slightly different, but generally it's about the same. Anyway, so when I did my analysis, my underwriting process includes, I always find an as-is value. And some people don't do this. That's fine. It doesn't matter. You can use your own system. I'm just going to share with you what I do. So I always try to find an as-is value of the home. So when I ran my underwriting, I figured out that the as-is value was about $75,000 for this size house, this big house with this many bedrooms, right? Even the tax assessor fair market value was $57,000. And you probably all know that the county really, really discounts the actual value. So the county would never actually have it at market value, right? They're substantially discounted. So that's that. Now, I've said this before, what I like to use, I like to use a formula where I figure out the as is value of the property, and I never offer more than 70% of that. So in this case, I figured out that if I wanted to, and if I really, really wanted this house, I could offer as much as $52,000 for it, right? But guess what? It was listed at 35. Did I offer 35? No. How much did I offer? My first offer was 28. So I knew that I was going to really buy it at around 30. So I was able to buy it at 30,000, and I did self-fund this because at that time I did not have a private money lender. Okay. All right. So here's what the numbers were when I went into the deal. My earnest money deposit was $500. At closing, there was credit for prorated taxes. And so the cash that I had to bring to closing was just over $29,000. The seller did pay most of the closing costs. I did pay some, but seller paid most of them. This was my prospective slow flip number. Prospective means that I had estimated this to be the numbers. Um, at that time, I figured out the market rent for this property would be about $1,500. It's a huge home, so it would be a lot more, but I thought 1,500 would be reasonable. Since I did not have a private money lender, obviously that was going to be zero. The taxes were $1,098 a year or $92 a month. The insurance, when I got the quotes, were $1,500 or more. So $1,500 is what I had estimated, about $125 a month. So I was looking at a cash flow of $1,283 a month. If I had a private money lender, then my cash flow would be still $615.67. And I always do my analysis assuming that I have a private money lender, because going forward, I'm not going to buy any more properties on cash. They're all going to be funded by my private money lender, right? So that was the idea. Now, how did we do in terms of filling? Now, let me talk about the problem with the property. So all other things that were there, they were minor issues like some peeling sheetrock, small piece of uh, ceiling missing in the rooms that we saw before, paint, small stuff, right? The big thing was structural. On the second floor where the ceiling had caved in, that's a major, major issue for a lot of people, right? So the reason why I showed you that video was because some people who are in our program, they get very scared about various things in the property, right? And sure enough, I mean, if you don't have enough experience, you will get scared for whatever reason. There's something wrong with this, or there's something. Just understand these are not properties that are on the market at retail for a reason. So there's a reason why this property was not listed for $70,000. It would have sold for $70,000. Problem with it. I can tell you that, right? But there was a reason why, because there were only two types of people who would have bought this. They would have been a flipper who would have bought for cash and then repair it and then sell it, or somebody like us who would buy it and then refinance it or seller finance it. Now, I think I just got lucky that I was able to get this in, because I'm pretty sure this would have been a great deal for a flipper, because they would easily would have made a spread in there. But remember how the slow flip business works. A lot of flippers are not in this market because the market itself is declining. So understand this. A lot of people keep asking me that, oh, should I be researching slow flips? I should be buying in growing market. Just understand what Scott teaches us. We are in markets that are declining. We are not in markets where there's appreciation going on. All right. So these flippers and all that, they're not generally there. They are there, but they're small time people. They're just making small spreads. The real good, the people who make good, who do good work and make big spreads, they go in areas where there is appreciation. Anyway, let's go back to this. So I closed on this property on September 26th last year. Joey had recommended that we could get 3,000 down for this and about 1,095 a month at 129,000 at sales price. Now this sales price, you remember in my previous presentation, you think of two prices, right? One is the as-is value, which is what we are buying at, and then there is the after repair value. So the ARV is estimated for something like this to be about 129 considering all the repairs are done and it's put in, and then we have owner financing on it, right? So it did take a while. It did not sell quickly because of that reason, because there was a caved in roof. Now, I had anticipated this. I have a different risk profile, so I was able to go into something like this. But if you're new and you've never bought, this is your first slow flip, I would not suggest you buy something like this, right? To me, I've done a whole bunch of real estate transaction deals. I know some of the risks that I can take and some of the things that I would not risk. But in this case, I was able to say that, I'm willing to do that. So that was that. So yes, we were able to sell this on October 18th with $3,000 down and 1,095 a month for 129,000. So now let's look at the actual numbers. So on the right side in the blue section, I have the prospective numbers, the ones that I showed you before I went into the deal. So this is important for someone because they assume that whatever you thought ended up being, and so this is the real numbers. So my final numbers is that instead of $1,500, it did not rent for $1,500, it rented for $1,095. So consider that there was work involved, even though it's such a big house. So do not get, what do we learn from this? And that's the reason why I showed you this video. When people get excited when they see a big home and they look at the numbers and they find, oh wow, this can rent for $1,000 or $1,200, they kind of peg themselves there. Well, guess what? In most likelihood, you should be working towards the left of that spectrum on the lower end. And that's exactly what happened in this case, especially because it had major structural issues, right? So it did rent for that, and my taxes were obviously the taxes were accurate. However, the lucky break is that now we have Mike in our on our forum who helps us with insurance, and so my insurance is $500 on this a year, which is just 42 bucks. So what is my real cash flow? My real cash flow on this deal is $961 a month. If I had a private money lender, my cash flow would have been $293.67 a month. So still, there was enough spread in there for it to be a good deal. All right, so what's the history now? This tenant who's been there, I've been lucky, has been paying. It's not full 1 year, it's going to be 1 year in October. So once their payment comes in October, they would have paid me a total of $13,359. And if you remember, I had invested 30 grand from my pocket. So my gross income in a full year is 13,359, which means my return of investment is 44.54%. Now, what is my net income? My net income, remember, after taking out taxes and insurance, is 11,532. So even then, my return of investment is 38.44%. So this is not an ideal deal. Like I said, it's a really big home. It rents for more, and also in this case, it was a cash deal, so that's why these numbers are so healthy and they're so good. But it is the first deal, and so that's what I wanted to share. All right. Now let's see. Anything am I missing? Nope, that's basically it. And now I can answer any questions that you might have, and we have plenty of time. Yeah, go ahead, Kevin.
Hey, Amir.
Hi.
So 3 things, I'll make it quick. If you could send, I don't know how you're going to send the template for your offer letter and where to find your proof of fund letter. And then as far as Joey doing the walkthrough, so when he first looked above that bar, it looked like he just assumed with a quick eye that it was just drywall that was hanging down. So it seemed to be that later to come, you found that it was actually structural issue with the top of the roof.
Well, I have enough experience to know what it was just as soon as I saw it. But remember, Joey's also a salesman. He was making the video for me, but he was also making the video for his audience. So he doesn't like to scare them by saying things like that, because at the end, he is a salesman. I don't judge the words he used. That's something he used, but he was doing the video for both purposes. So he was doing it for the sales and showing me. And at the end, I had to make the decision. He was not going to make the decision. In fact, I didn't tell you that. He actually bid on this property also. So the first thing when I sent him the address, he said, "Oh, I bid on this also." In fact, he asked me, "Oh, you know about that problem? If you like, you can sell it to me." So it was funny about that. But so no, I mean, he knew that this was a good deal in that sense. But yeah, about the verbiage, yeah, it's sales pitch coming in there.
But in the end, when you did your work, it was a structural issue that was going to have to be addressed. That was going to be a lot of money.
Correct. Correct. And that I think is easily at least $5,000 of work involved. And so whoever ended up, this lady who's there, still there, which means she saw it and either somebody in her family or somebody could fix it. And so they decided to do that. And that's why it took longer. If that wasn't there, we would probably have gotten more money for it. We probably could have gotten more down payment for it because easily you can have two families living in this house very easily, you know?
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. Patrick, you can just press the button so I can see your hand raised there. Candace, go ahead, please.
So I've been searching on the MLS and going down and finding the actual agent that's representing the property. And my biggest problem right now is getting someone to respond back. So did you just send an email and an offer without
No.
boots on the ground?
So one of my first meeting presentation was about that. Of at that point we didn't have recording, so we don't have it. But I'll just tell you my process. I don't call them. I don't send an email. I actually want to get their email, but even if I find their email, I don't actually send them an email first. The first thing I do is I text them, and I have a special template. It's a very specific template. I talk about very specific thing, and I get their attention. And then when they respond to me, that's when I get their email. So I have that piece of information. Then I do my research, and if I find I'm interested enough, that's when I send them that. So you're absolutely right. It's a common problem we have is that a lot of them don't respond to you. They don't respond to messages. But at the end, think about it this way. Let's say you're really, really interested in buying a property and you don't have a buyer's agent and they're not responding. I think you're just wasting your time. Just move on. Because if they're not going to work with you, even at later stage, that you're going to have problem, getting communication across and all that. So it's one of those things that you have to work around, figure out whether it's working or not. So what I do is, if I'm on a certain day I'm working, and if I find 4 or 5 different properties, I send all these messages, and then whoever responds, then I work on that, and I don't worry about the other properties.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, welcome, Patrick. Go ahead.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Sometimes I forget where to click to raise hand on.
That's all right.
Yeah, I have 2 questions. I'm pretty new. First question is, did you do your research based on the zip code you wanted to buy? Because the neighborhood seems to be nicer than other houses that I've seen so far. That's number one. A follow-up question to that is, why did you choose bigger house instead of average 1,000 square feet or 2-bedroom, 1 bath that I see? And the second full question is something that's been ringing in my head. It's like a fear to me. When you say we go to a market, I've been reading and listening to video to just understand why Scott choose depreciating markets. My fear is if you buy a house now and you give it to, you sign a contract with a tenant, and after some years the tenant leaves, you want to resell this property. If that area, that neighborhood depreciate, how do you make profit?
Okay, so there's 3 questions. Let me see if I can answer them. Number 1 question was, why did where did I choose the zip code? No.
Yes.
I simply go by city. So I'm only looking at buying homes in certain cities, and East St. Louis was one of the cities I was looking at. Number 1. Number 2, it looks like a nicer neighborhood, but if you actually look at the crime rates or whatever, you'll find it's not any better than any other lake. I mean, you saw the grills. I all actually got messages from people making fun of that, oh, I'm not living there because if somebody puts grill, there's actually a grill cage on the condenser unit outside. I don't know if you saw that. So those are signs which means that there's a lot of crime in that area. So there's crime.
The last question is the appreciation since the
Yeah,
neighborhood
so
depreciate
for
after some time. Yeah.
yeah, what I would suggest is I would just follow the explanation that Scott gives in why we do this. So I don't want to repeat that, but I would just go in the modules and review that material. And that's what the business model is. So if you're fighting that, then you're fighting what the system is. You see what I'm saying? All right, so we've got just 3 minutes left. Holly, go ahead, please.
Sorry, I was going to say in East St. Louis, they have the occupancy inspections like in Madison County. How long can you hold the house before they would like come after you for something like that? Because that's something I've had agents tell me about.
In East St. Louis, I don't know. I had no problem. I mean, I had the deed in my name. It was recorded. Everything is fine. And I was never asked. So it's one of those things that the city doesn't come to you. I mean, I do get notices from my properties in Toledo. And so if the city does something, then you respond. So it's not like you proactively go out and tell the city, hey, look, I think there's a problem. So I just wait if they come to me, and then I just forward it to the tenant. Just exactly what Scott teaches. I'm not doing anything new. you know.
Thank you.
Sure, David, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Amir, where do you get your comps from?
I use PropWire.
PropWire?
Mm-hmm.
Is that better than Zillow, but not as good as an MLS?
Okay, nothing is better than MLS because MLS has some proprietary data that is not listed. So if you have access to MLS, that would be the best. But if you're looking for public records and free access, then PropWire is the best.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so hopefully that was helpful because it was the first deal, and I'm thinking this is actually an exciting way to do this if I invite some other guests who've been in the system for a while and let them bring in their first deal. Because a lot of time people learn from their first deal. So I learned a lot of things. For example, I took a risk, and maybe going back, maybe I would not have taken it. I don't really know, but maybe I also was a little bit lucky, because that thing with the roof. Not the roof, it was the ceiling that had caved in, was actually an issue. So if you're really new, and especially if you don't have any experience, I would stay away from any major issues, right? So having said that, I hope you all have a good week, and I will see you all next week. All right, take care.